Hi!
We're back.
We're back.
Although I think in the last vlog we were saying we were gonna go see If Then April 4th.
And we did not.
Didn't happen. Bad weather.
Bad weather, right.
Yeah, although I was actually in the city on Tuesday with like that torrential downpour, so...
Sorry, I wasn't.
It's possible, just wouldn't be preferred. So, yes, we saw If Then.
Woo!
Yeah. Do you want to start?
No, I should probably start because I have less negative things to say.
Okay, I mean, it's not like negative.
It's not negative. It's like, I feel though, we're gonna like complain a lot about it, but the truth is I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's gonna sound like we're complaining a lot, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't suggest you go see it.
Yeah, no, there actually is a lot to be enjoyed from this show.
Oh, and also, just quick thing, we didn't do this on purpose, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh, you guys match, it's really cute, and...
We did it on purpose.
Although I feel like we're, like, separated sisters sometimes,
yeah.
and it's moments like these.
It's true.
Okay.
Oh, and Dave didn't come.
Yeah.
Like, wondering, where's that sassy gay best friend?
Yeah, Dave was just like, go on ahead, go see it without me. I have other shows I'd like to see, so...
Actually, okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about the show,
sorry.
So, you go first.
Okay. After thinking we had a bus ride, and after thinking and talking to Megan the whole bus ride, I can sum it up that I would say I enjoyed it, but I was not moved. It didn't, like, evoke any emotions like I would like theater to always do for me. It did not, but the stars were amazing. I think the characters were, like, really good, like, really well developed, and everyone was, like, interesting.
Agreed.
And though the characters were not cliche, everything else was a bit cliche.
Okay, and I guess that's a good jump-off point as any.
Yeah.
Like, If Then, you know, a show that's, like...
It was a good theme. I understood the theme, that it was, like, fate will lead us where we will be where we are meant to be in the end, which I believe. So it was like, it was nice to hear that, I guess.
Yeah, but I think the biggest problem is they just said nothing new about those themes. Like, there's nothing new that was brought up or sung about. It was just, they used, you know, Brent Brandley, I read his review of this for my class, and he was really not kidding when, you know, when he said that they use every, like, cliche about fate
and destiny, and
it's all over this show.
And, like, meant to be, which is fine, but it was just like, nothing new.
And it was a lot of it.
Oh, and then, like, alright, well, like, spoiler alert, this isn't a spoiler, but, like, the premise of the show was, a choice that Idina Menzel,
Idina plays Elizabeth.
Like, you see in which two directions her life would go based on, like, one decision.
Yeah.
But we never know what's real. It's cool. It's a cool concept. I like the concept. I enjoyed the concept, but it was very hard since we never know what happens. It was hard to get invested in anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, while that's a cool thing to do to make it sort of, like, ambivalent, that's the problem in doing that is that, you know, nothing seems tangible and nothing seems for certain. Right. So unfortunately,
it's hard for the audience to grab onto anything.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get into spoilers. So, like, unfortunately, when Josh, played by James Snyder, when his character dies on his third trip to Iraq. He's a soldier. I'm gonna assume they're going to Iraq.
Right.
But yeah, on his, like, third tour in the army, when he dies, like, yes, it was a really sad moment, but...
And it just flew past.
It flew past, and
unlike the first act.
Oh, we'll get to, like, the pacing and the timing of the show, but just to, like, quickly say, but because, like, the whole show was about, like, you know, the roads you take or don't take, and, like, how these choices, like, lead you to where you go in life, like, because, yeah, again, it's ambivalence. Like, it just didn't make me care so much about anything. And
yeah, it's, like, really saying, because I eat that stuff up. Like, I don't dislike cliches, like, at all. Like, I love the concept of fate and destiny, and it just did not hit me the way I wanted it to hit me.
Yeah, no, it should have been,
because of the music. Maybe it was just, like, It wasn't even like nothing, like no lyrics really like connected to me, you know. And maybe it's because like I am not like. I just 39.
think it's the story itself. Like a lot of what was being musicalized. Like here, this is like the sort of plot. So like, Idina Menzel's character Elizabeth is like a city planner. So I don't know anything about like city planning or like what that job entails, but it's about like building shit.
It's like you're not the engineer, but you're the person who like works. I feel like it's like in theater terms, you're like the producer. You know, like you're overseeing everything that's happening.
Okay, so
and like working with the people, like very like HR. That's what I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. Look it up if you don't.
But that's the thing, though. So that's what was being musicalized. Like it was nothing really like. I guess it was like really simple, but it made for like some of the most boring songs to ever be musicalized.
I don't know.
The second song in the show in which she like meets up with her old college friend Steven, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I got a job for you in the government. Why don't you take it?" And
you didn't like the Maps of New York song? Oh, I really... That's, like, the only song I liked.
I don't know. They were, like, singing about...
No, but it was, like, everyone was like, that's where I did that. I liked the first third of Act 1 because... No, how do you not... You can't not relate to that. Like, you know...
I don't know.
Okay, this website. It's called Maps of New York. There was no thing in the playbill, so I can't really show you.
Yeah, I assume it's called Maps of New York.
Maps of New York, because that was the chorus. But, and it was just... You saw all these people, like, telling what the city means to them. I thought... If the whole show was more like that, I would have enjoyed it more because I love New York. And it's just like, I think personally that when I go to the city, I'm like, you remember it by memories, not from streets. That you're like this, or that's how I interpreted it. You probably interpreted it different, so that's probably why you don't like it. That I was like, oh, that's where I saw my first show, and oh, that's where I kissed that guy, and like blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? You kind of like remember where you were in the city. So you make your own map of... That's how I interpreted it, but I'm sure people interpreted it different.
I mean, that unfortunately flew over my head. The impression I got from that song specifically was that it was a lot like, you know, let's talk about planning and architecture.
Wow, that's like, insane. We have we totally
I was just kind of,
like, I mean... a million times different.
I mean, I was just like sitting there. Okay, so basically look at it this way. So the way you can tell the difference between the two stories that like intersect with each other is whether Idina Menzel is wearing glasses or not. And also
that's so not true because she has different names.
Well, and they do that too.
Yeah.
So she has like two different names in these two different lives, which they bring up in the beginning of the show. So in one of her lives, she's Liz. It's so weird to say lives. And the other one, she's like Beth. So, oh my god, I like lost my train of thought talking about like the lives.
Well, that's the premise.
Okay, well, no, actually, so I remember my point. I was more interested in her relationship with Josh than in the other life when she was like rising up and becoming like a huge part of the city. I do love I love Josh. I just kind of like the little like romance between her and Anthony Rapp. I like Anthony Rapp's character probably hit me the most out of all the characters. The characters were all really interesting.
Yeah, because he had just like because I feel like I can relate to. It's like two very good friends, and the one kind of likes the other. Yeah, I thought all of it, and then Anthony Rapp. What was his name in the show?
Josh.
Lucas.
Oh right, Josh is James Snyder.
Lucas.
Yeah, sorry.
Lucas, I think was the most genuine character and like the least.
Yeah.
Most relatable character to me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely the characters were all, like, really interesting and not, like, cardboard cutouts. Like, Kate, played by LaShawns, was really entertaining and really funny. And
her girlfriend, super funny. Whatever.
Yeah, her name's Anne. They were both wonderful.
Yeah, all the cast was great.
Yeah, cast is great. Cast is absolutely wonderful. You know, they're working it with the material they have, and, you know, it's not stellar material. It just isn't.
That's what it comes down
to.
The
story, I'm sorry, like, I just was not invested. The only time I think I ever really was invested was, again, Elizabeth, Beth or Liz?
Which one?
Who's with Josh? Beth or is it Beth?
Liz is with Josh.
Okay, so yeah, Liz and Josh. That was the relationship I was, like, invested in. Unfortunately, everything else from, like, Beth rising up in the city and, like, becoming a powerful influence and, like...
Oh, I think
I
don't know. I think I like Beth's more.
Okay.
Because I like that... I don't know. I think everything that happened with Beth was a little bit more realistic than...
Yeah.
Or maybe I just related to Beth's more than I related to Liz. Because, like, I'm not married, so that really, like...
Yeah,
I don't really relate to it. Which is not necessarily saying I don't relate to married people or married characters, because in Bridges I related all about Francesca, but
yeah.
I don't know. No, well, whatever. Different. Obviously, if you go see it, you all should go see it. But like,
wait, I'm sorry. Are we still like going to see Bridges or If Then? Because I mean,
I don't know, because Bridges is not for everyone. Bridges just happens to be. My heart and soul.
Yeah, no, we even said that in our review for Bridges. Like, it's obviously for a specific type of, like, fan of theater.
Right. But this is, and if you like new works, definitely go see it. If you like contemporary musical theater, I would say go see it, but, like, don't bring your parents. Your parents probably won't like it that much. If you're a parent, you know?
I'm sorry, are we talking about If Then or Bridges?
If Then.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Like,
if you like contemporary musical theater, but, like, don't bring your grandparents, because they probably won't,
and also, it also should be said, like, this is a very, maybe the reason why I was so invested in it was it's a very low
Sorry, so I'm sure some grandparents would really like this.
Yeah, you never knew. There were older people in the audience.
Yeah, but I don't know if they like it.
But this is a very low tension show.
That's what I told her in intermission.
It's very,
I think it kept my attention. It did. But I have my qualms.
Yeah, no, like, and again, back to what I was saying before about the ambivalence of it, like, because, like, everything is about, like, choices and, like, you know, it's, like, two stories intersecting, like, the tension's, like, very low, because it's like, well, maybe this isn't true, because maybe this isn't the decision she made.
And, like,
you don't know that,
and even, like, a lot of the decisions weren't that big decisions. Or decisions that we've seen before.
Yeah, definitely decisions we've seen before.
Literally, every decision she makes was so totally average.
Done before, but there were a couple big decisions in the show. Like getting married and getting the abortion. Yeah.
Megan, I can't believe you spoiled that.
You know what? This is not spoiler free, okay? You watch this and... Okay, so we won't bring that up again. Right. But yeah, so, yeah, she did have a lot of big decisions in the show, but again...
but things that have been...
Yeah, things that have been done before. Like, this is just... This story, or the stories, like, it's just so not compelling in the slightest. It's just like...
But still enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm complaining. That's like I feel like I'm complaining about a lot of stuff.
Okay, so the music is Tom Kitt and Brian Yorkie, who wrote Next to Normal.
Which, like, Next to Normal, If Then.
I mean, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like it's really hard to compare the two, like, because they're two completely different shows.
I know, but like you could definitely hear they're the same composers.
Yeah, no, like the you can definitely tell it's written by the same composers. It's just like, unfortunately in If Then, all the songs
were a bit conversational.
And they all sounded the same.
Okay, I literally, like, to be honest, and I this is coming from a person who enjoyed it, as I said before, I can't remember one song. Except the one on the preview.
Except for Idina Menzel's, like 11 o'clock number.
Yeah, right. Which was obviously awesome because she's Idina.
Exactly.
And it was a good song. It was a good song.
But, which is Starting Over.
And, like, there were some songs that I absolutely loved, and the characters were brilliant. Like, anything Josh sang was really... His two solos were really good. Anthony raps Lucas's songs, like, two solos. Loved. Absolutely
Yeah, those were good songs.
But I can't sing, like, anything back to you.
Yeah, no. I mean, basically those songs...
not memorable.
Yeah, the songs you just mentioned, and then Idina Menzel's 11 o'clock number, that's honestly the only memorable songs from this show. Yeah. Anything else, it's just gonna go, like, right over your head.
Yeah.
And you know what? This show is actually funny, too.
Oh, the book's so good.
The book is
funny.
You know, it moves the plot along, and, it definitely had me laughing at a lot of moments. So it's definitely not, like, a total bore or a total drag. And honestly, I think the book is probably the best part about the show. But unfortunately, this show should not be 2 hours.
Wait, it was more than 2 hours.
So let's talk about this. So there was a technical difficulty when we saw it.
Yeah, so it stopped for like approximately 5 minutes for them to fix it.
Well, almost 10 minutes, but beside the point. Okay, so yeah. So opening number happens, and then stage management comes on the speakers, and we're like, oh no, we're having a technical difficulty, like, please hold your horses. And everyone's like, oh my god, and I'm assuming a lot of Spider-Man jokes were made at that point. I will bet you they were. But, you know, stage management, you know, got the shit together.
Really fast.
Yeah, no, really fast. Like we were not waiting for that.
Yeah, we were not restless.
Shout out to stage management and production crew at If Then.
Ooh.
You guys are doing great, and you make it happen. So, but yeah, aside from that technical difficulty, though, the first act is over an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is long.
So unnecessary.
And, okay, honestly, this
so
is
unnecessary.
what I'm thinking, that, as I said before, I couldn't remember any song specifically, because so much happened that, and, like, the 2 lives, I'm, like, trying to keep track, and they're both so long, and just, if it was trimmed, I feel like I would be remembering the songs I should be remembering. If there wasn't so much, like...
Yeah, and, like, there were...
It was, like...
There
were like the songs that I remember, or like remember the scenes of. It's like here, here, and here. Mm-hmm. But in between all them were like little songs that like make you forget what you just saw, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree to that extent. I mean, also in a lot of scenes did not have to go on for as long as they did. Or actually, like, it's not even that they went on for a while. There was just a lot of like little scenes, I think, that just added up to the length of Act 1. Because, yeah, first act, really, really long. Over an hour. And actually, it was an hour and a half, because I remember checking my phone and I couldn't believe it was after 3:30. And the show started at, like, 2:05. So, ridiculous long first act. And then the second act, I think it was only an hour. Maybe even under an hour.
Yeah.
And yeah, Act 2, so much better than Act 1. In terms of staging.
Okay, well.
So time to get
into what's really killing me.
The rant. This is sort of our ranting section. So.
As if this whole thing wasn't a rant. But here we go. So Megan and I decide to do the lottery because we're broke. And which is fine, you know, like we get by and we see all the shows we want to see, but we just have to be thrifty about it, obviously.
Exactly.
And so, of course, we didn't win the lottery, which is like we weren't expecting.
Yeah, there are only 20 tickets available, and almost always it's like people who needing 2 tickets. So
it's really like 10 people win, and so we didn't get it. But then loser lotto was 50, and we're like, well, we're not going to get a better deal than that, so we gonna take it.
Yeah, because even looking at the screen where they like show how much prices are, like starting prices were like $70-something for mezzanine.
So we're like,
and
we took it.
Yeah, so they did warn us that they were partial view seats.
But we've had partial view seats before.
And, like, usually shows are well directed in that it's okay.
You don't miss a lot.
Yeah, because we were bringing up next to normal, which I will bring up later
okay.
Okay, so we get to our seats. Which
were $50, by the way.
So $50 seats. We're in the Richard Rogers Theater. So
I'm not saying wasn't a good deal, but I'm saying that.
So here's kind of the kicker or the punchline.
Here we go.
So we were in the last row of like the upper orchestra, not exactly the mezzanine and not the lower orchestra, but like the chunk of seats of like in the middle. We were in the last row in the back,
and the mezzanine was like above us, like stretching basically the whole, and it
completely cut off the entire catwalk that's like suspended on the stage,
which was like a fourth of the first act.
So that's the kicker, because we were told that by the box office. Like I said, we're not like giving crap to the box office.
No, it's not the box office's fault, it's the corporation's fault.
Because here's the thing. All they told us was like, oh, you're just gonna miss Idina Menzel's big entrance, and you're probably gonna miss a
few little things.
A fourth of the first act,
was on the catwalk. So
okay, so we're gonna reenact it. So every time anything was happening on the catwalk,
and we were on the end, so we probably had a little bit better view than the people in the middle.
Exactly, we were on the end. Okay, but here's to reenact how we were seeing the show. Anytime someone's on the catwalk, that was literally us and almost everybody in front of us.
And so like and so then Idina started up there, which is like fine. She was only up there for like a
second, and then she came down.
So everyone's leaning like this to see her. So then we're leaning like this because we're in like the last row trying to see over everyone else. And that like took away from like the beginning because I was aggravated that I was like stretching.
And
like
that was the problem so that's the thing though. What we're kind of pissed about is that
those weren't $50 seats. Those are not.
Though they honestly, for the amount of staging that they did on that catwalk, and we were not,
because I would literally say 20 to 25% of the audience couldn't see 1/4 of the first act. And I'm like, you cannot charge $50 to see not the whole first act. It wasn't like 2 scenes. It was 1/4 of the first act, which was like 20 minutes of show, if you're thinking
and
of
also
it
and also for those of you who may or may not have seen the show, but towards the end of Act 1, it takes place on the majority of the catwalk. Like, they're supposed to be on the roof. And, like, we understand, it's Broadway, they have to make money, but it's bullshit.
I'm sorry. Or
it's
just direct it different. Like, why, if you know you're going to be in this theater, why design a set that's so high up if you know 20% of the audience can't see that?
And also, just to quickly make a note of the set, it was by the same guy who did Next to Normal.
I mean,
it really showed. Especially the lower half. Like, it was basically the bottom, like, half of the house of the house in Next to Normal.
Right. So that's like my biggest beef. But that's not the show's fault. It's like bad.
Yeah, like it's the theater and also like sort of the way it's directed. Like, to play devil's advocate, their line of thinking was that like only maybe 25% of the house in the Richard Rodgers Theater won't be able to see what goes on in the catwalk.
But all I'm saying, playing not devil's advocate, being
right.
If I was producing or directing a show, I would be like, we're changing this. 20% of the audience won't see this. That's so sad.
And, it should be considerate, though, because, like, it's not that those seats don't have to be bad, because I was thinking back to when In the Heights was playing in there, and that had a multiple sort of level set, if you remember. But so I was thinking about how many scenes were like, on the levels of, like, the two, the two, like, apartment buildings and the set of In the Heights. And all I remember is that the only time anyone would have missed something from the show was the beginning of Act 2 of Sunrise, when Nina and Benny are, like, on the
sun goes down.
No, that's when the sun goes down.
I think that was up there, too, though, actually. I think both the Benny and Nina.
Okay, but again, that's only 2 parts of the entire show that would have been blocked. And the fact that we missed 1/4 of Act 1 is bullshit. So, this is a message from
This is a
Broadway.
PSA.
This is a PSA. If you're going to sell us partial view seats, it's bullshit to charge.
It better have been 30. I would have done 30.
It shouldn't,
30, yeah.
But, okay, so just to, do we regret seeing it? Of course we don't.
No, we saw it, like, all-star cast. Great cast.
The show was definitely worth seeing. It's just...
Win the lottery. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, guys, win the lottery. I mean...
Okay, because I just don't think it was a good enough show that I would splurge $75 on.
Yeah. For, like, the mezzanine, although you would probably have been able to see everything.
I need to see this because it was Idina and Anthony Rapp, so I obviously, like, needed to see it.
So, yeah, that's definitely who this show is for.
But do not get partial view tickets if you do not have to.
Exactly.
Unless you're, like...
So,
it's hard, yeah.
Yeah, Act 2 was definitely better. Not much was done on the catwalk, so Act 2 wasn't terrible, but first act...
It was aggravating.
It was aggravating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for people who would want to see the show, obviously if you're an Idina Menzel fan, that's enough reason for you to go.
Obviously you have to go as a theater patron, as a theater lover.
Okay.
You have to go. Or at least you want to go,
Yeah, so obviously if you're an Idina Menzel fan, this is right up your alley, so go see it for her. I mean, if you like the cast, I mean, there's a lot of great people in it. Anthony Rapp's in it, so I'm assuming a lot of Rent heads are trekking to the show. And actually, I was telling you this before, this show is kind of like Rent,
like,
sort of grown up,
like,
because
like Rugrats when they did All Grown Up. This is like,
well, no, because there are just some similarities.
Yeah, you know what? Like Steven's totally Benny.
Right? Yeah, maybe, kind of, yeah. And then you got, like, the fighting lesbians, which, yes, they do fight.
Oh, they're fierce. They have great,
yeah, great belting.
Belting, yeah, their
great
song was a
belting.
good one.
Good job. And then you got, like, Anthony
and those
Rapp.
songs were long enough. It's like you got little pieces of everything, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean,
whatever,
the only...
we already discussed it.
Yeah, so we digress. So... I mean, if Idina Menzel doesn't convince you enough, I mean, I would just definitely go support Tom Kitt and Brian Yorkie.
Yeah, it's like, if you feel like you need to see it, then definitely go see it. But if you're, like, really not attached to it, don't splurge.
Exactly.
Is what I guess we're saying.
Yeah, and if you, like... Yeah, just, if you do see it, we're warning you, you know, Act 1. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, but, like... I liked it. I'm happy I saw it. So, was it a pleasurable experience?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's totally pleasurable. So, yes.
Absolutely. So,
that's what I would say.
Overall, great cast.
Great characters.
So material.
Great book.
Definitely, I like the book, if anything. Music and lyrics a little... nice set. Really nice lighting, too. You say good lighting.
Yeah,
I like shows with good lighting.
It was well done. It was well done. Just shouldn't have put everything on the catwalk. Bad direction.
Yeah, so just warning you guys now, if you get partial view, be prepared to do this. All right, well, that's a wrap. So I don't know.
If you go see it, then tell us how it is. All right.
So we'll catch you whatever next show we see, which we don't know.
I want to see Gentleman's Guide, so I feel like that's probably next.
I want to see Violet.
We want to see Violet too. You're going to see Les Mis. I'm gonna get tickets to see Les Mis.
Yeah, I'm gonna
see it.
I'm seeing it in May.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and just to quickly comment one last thing. Kelly O'Hara still deserves the Tony for Best Actress.
Yeah.
I mean, Idina Menzel was great.
Idina, like, did not have... I'm, like, so used to the passion between Kelly and Steven that nothing even compares. Like, even real-life couples don't compare to Kelly and Steven, so...
Okay, so...
We gotta stop.
Okay, but yeah, I wanted to make that last comment, so... Yeah. Kelly O'Hara... I still think she should win the Tony.
I mean, Idina, you like basically won an Oscar, so.
Yeah, Idina, congratulations. You're amazing at life.
I love you.
We love you. We do. But yeah, so that's a wrap. We'll see you at the next show.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye.